Graduates, please take your seats. Good afternoon and welcome to the 2014 Edward L. Cox School of Business Graduate Degree Ceremony. Before proceeding with the ceremony, I would like to introduce the stage party. As I call your name, please stand. Graduates, please hold your applause until all members of the stage party have been introduced. Albert Nemai, Dean of the Cox School of Business. Marcy Armstrong, Associate Dean, Graduate Programs. Tom Prokowski, Assistant Dean, Executive MBA Program. Gary Moskowitz, Associate Dean, Strategy and Accreditation. We also have several distinguished guests with us today. Brad Brookshire, SMU Board of Trustee member and Cox Executive Board member. Jim Geiger, Cox Executive Board member. Dr. Mary Elaine Jones, Professor Emeritus, University of the Incarnate Word, and her husband, T. David Jones. And now our department chairs. Professor Amit Basu, Information Technology and Operations Management. Professor Hemang Desai, Accounting. Professor Kumar Venkataraman, Finance. Professor Raj Sethurman, Marketing. Professor Gordon Walker, Strategy, Entrepreneurship, and Business Economics. I'm Bill Dillon, and I serve as Senior Associate Dean. At this time, I would like the Cox faculty and staff members to stand and be acknowledged. This is a very special day for all of our graduates, and we're very proud of what you have accomplished. However, over the last 2 years or so, you've benefited from the support and love of your family and friends. I think at this time it's appropriate to say thank you. Will all of the parents, grandparents, spouses, children, and other family members of our graduates please stand? Graduates. At this time, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce our Dean, Al Nimai.
Thank you, Bill. Congratulations. It's a big day for you. It's a big day of celebration. This will be your last lecture before you get your degrees. And I just want to, I know many of you weren't at the morning. This is my third commencement exercise today. We started at 9 with the General University, and then at 1 we did the undergrads, and now we're doing all our master's students. And Mayor Mike Rollins was our speaker at the first one, and when I introduced the masters from the various MBA programs and the Masters of Accounting and the Masters of Science and the Masters of Management, I counted heads. There were 11 of you there. So, I know many of you didn't make the early ceremony. So, knowing that, I can paraphrase what our good Mayor Michael Rollins had to say. Actually, these are my canned remarks, and my poor faculty put up with these every year. But it was nice to hear the mayor had a couple of my points in his remarks. So, just a few words of advice before we present your degrees. And my friend, when I was in Georgia, Ted Turner, set the all-time record for commencement remarks. He was about 10 years ago, they asked him to be the commencement speaker at Duke University for the graduate programs, for the university-wide. He walked up to the podium, kind of ambled up. Ted doesn't walk, he kind of saunters and leans on one elbow and says, "Guys, you just get out there and work your butt off. It's tough." And then he went and sat down. So the president of Duke University thought it was a joke and went over and said, "Oh, Mr. Turner, now come share your wisdom with the students." He said, "All I got to say." So I'm going to build on what, I'll tell you the rest of the story, okay? Ted was right. You got to work hard. So number one would be hard work. There's no substitution for hard work. When I was sitting where you guys are, getting my graduate degree about 40 years ago, the United States was virtually unchallenged in the global economy. Our industrial capacity was 50% of the world's industrial capacity. We had 50% market share in the auto and truck industry. There was no one close. Today, the world you're graduating into, China is the leading industrial power in the world. China is the biggest producer of automobiles and trucks in the world. China graduates many more people in master's and undergraduate degree programs in all fields than any country in the world, and no one is close. It is a very, very different competitive marketplace. So take Ted Turner's words to heart. You're going to have to work hard, but it's going to be more than that. One of the things Mayor Mike Rollins said this morning is remember your ethical values. Always tell the truth. So that's my second point. We had one of our retired professors speak at an event last evening for some of our undergraduate finance students. And his advice was always tell the truth. And he said what he does every day, he picks up the Wall Street Journal and he reads it cover to cover, looking for stories on how many executives are going to jail or being indicted for wrongdoing, cheating, cooking the books in their corporate lives. He said yesterday was a light day. There were only 6. Usually it's double digits. And take a look, follow, just read the Wall Street Journal, look for those stories, and it will set you straight. I have a simple rule of thumb. I always tell my students, if you ever have doubt about what you're about to do, go find a mirror, look in it, and say, if my mother knew what I were about to do, would she be proud? If there's any doubt, don't think about doing it. Third thing, never stop learning. I know you guys have worked hard. I know you guys have really worked hard. I mean, you know, these executive MBAs, probably working 80 hours a week in one job and doing double duty with us, and you professional MBAs, I know, for those of you who have not been in a full-time degree program, how hard you worked. But you know what? It's tough out there, and you're going to have to keep working hard, and in order to stay ahead of your competition, one of Mayor Mike Rollins' thing, his second point was read, 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 and never stop reading. I have a friend, Monica Kaufman. She was the news, she owned the news media in Atlanta, Georgia for almost the last 40 years. She retired last year in her mid-60s. I talked to her recently and said, what are you doing? You know what she's doing this fall? She's enrolled in a PhD program at the University of Georgia in mass communications because she wants to understand the academic side of the business she's been in for the past 40 years. So if you think about you're low enough, think about my friend Monica in Atlanta, who's now going into a doctoral program at 66 years of age. You know, never too late. Last point, if you want to be successful, you got to treat folks right. I was at a dinner Thursday night. Goldman Sachs had their board of directors meeting in Dallas. Lloyd Blankfein was there at a reception. It was a dinner of 40. 20 people on the Goldman board, and 20 ordinary citizens like me. And as I walked into this really nice house here in Dallas, at the reception, and then when everybody was in, I watched Mr. Blankfein go around the room, and he touched everybody there who was an outsider, and he asked me what I did for a living. He asked me how I liked living in Dallas. He asked me if I liked the industry I had gone into. He acted genuinely interested in me. And if you treat people like you would like to be treated, those are the people who end up running the organization. So, as I like to say it, when you get out there, treat the custodians at least as well as you treat the CEOs, and you and your career will be blessed, and you'll end up leading that organization. Godspeed, good luck, and we're going to now present your degrees, but I'm very proud of all of you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Al. We'll begin the presentation of the diplomas with the executive MBAs. They will be followed by the professional MBAs, then the full-time MBAs, then our Masters of Science of Accounting, the Master of Science Finance, and the Master of Science in Management. Assistant Dean Tom Perkowski will introduce the EMBA class marshals, and Associate Dean Marcy Armstrong will introduce the class marshals for the other graduate programs. Please hold your applause so that all names can be heard. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to present the graduates of the Executive MBA program, class of 2014.
I'm pleased to recognize the 3 students from the Executive MBA program who achieved the highest cumulative GPA. With a perfect 4.0 GPA, Mark Todd. Mark is Vice President of Financial Operations at Windstream. And by the way, Mark commuted from Little Rock every other weekend for 21 months to do it. With identical GPAs of 3.97, Olivier Randoing. Olivier is Director of Programs at Chemring North America. And Ted Eads. Ted is Executive Vice President, Chief Administrative Officer, Chief Compliance Officer, and General Counsel at Ace Cash Express.
John Bryce Anderson. Mark Andrew Baldwin. Jitendra Bantia. Todd William Bond. Nicole Brewster. Trenton Davis Brookshire. Jeffrey Donald Carper. Ashok Chinamola. John Daniel Cleaton, Jr. Blake Collindre. Christopher Damian Connor. Jesse B. Crabb. Tavana Shani Curtis. David A. Davis. James Edward Faxon. Julie Marie Fratangelo. Jake Frost. Dario Gomez. Jesse Lewis Gibbs. Mindy Louise Goldman. Gustavo P. Gonsalves. Karen Goff. Suresh Gunasekaran. Corey Scott Hall. Robert Andrew Hamilton III. Sekou Harris. And I am Mark Daniel Todd.
Hamid Herzai. Daniel Clay Hobson. Russell Chad Huddleston. Clayton Randolph Huffstutter. Robert Connor Humphrey. Jacob Ufoma Idiji. Laura Jabur. Tracy R. Jacobs. Jacqueline Jenkins. Ju Young June. Catherine Francis Jones. John Collier Jones. Sanjay Kumar. Sanjeev Kumar. Jennifer Lynn Lassiter. Russell R. Lindsay. Chad S. Lewig. Ignacio R. Mantovani. Gerardo Marcor. Scott Allen Mars. Dustin Lee Martello. Nicholas Martin. Daniel Paul Meadows. Magali Mouries Dubourg. Cash Nasheri. Stephen Shane O'Donnelly. Jeremy Shane Owens. And I'm Ted Michael Eads.
Samaresh Panda. Sandeep Batula. Austin Brant Parker. Makran Patil. John Lee Perry. Kumar Pila. Chris Pollock. Eric Patila. Mutu Raj. Thomas Lawson Reed II. Jamie Rogers. Winfred Jerome Rose. Jean Lee Schneeds. Keith Allen Schroed. Skip Daniel Seeley. Mark Shostak. Robert David Smith. Gerald Wayne Smith, Jr. William Edward Sullivan. Ellis Fisher Trevor. Matthew R. Trimble. Cardell Steele Velez. Uno Alexander Vesky. Melissa Jewett Westmeyer. Thomas Leroy Wire, Jr. Valerie Braxton Williams. Jason Frank Wright. Jean-François Zaki. And I am Olivier Randouin.
One more round of applause for the 2014 graduates of the Executive MBA program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to present the 2014 graduates of the Professional MBA program.
And it's my great pleasure to announce the 3 graduating students with the highest cumulative grade point average. First, James John Lowe, graduating with a 3.92, and he works at SMU in the Office of Information Technology and will continue in that capacity. Also, Alan Elizabeth Burris, Allie is graduating with a 3.891 and also is an SMU employee. She is the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admissions at SMU. Allie? And tied with her is Anshul Singh, 3.891 also, and Anshul is currently the Global Pricing Manager for Texas Instruments.
Anus Adakari. Matthew Allen Ameson. Ahad El Amdani. Amy Berryman. Jennifer Marie Bowes. Caitlin Renee Kabai. Jeffrey Randolph Christofferson. Meredith Chambers Counts. Tashay Lachelle Croxton. Shauna K. Daniels. Michael Delaney. Dorian Doe. Srinivasa Duvana. Jennifer Elaine Armstead. Anthony Ortique Francis. Jessica Garcia. Emily Elizabeth Grace. Joshua Scott Griffith. Joshua Scott Hagerman. Caroline Elizabeth Healy. Jeffrey Scott Herman. And my name is James Lowe.
William Alex Kelfer. Ram Kesarla. Neil Frederick Conker. Dustin Blue Kostlich. Gaurav Kumar. David Hicks Lott III. Jason Mark Mansky. Michael McCowan. Ricardo Mier. Daniel Albert Montoya. Amadou Injai. Anath Padmanran. Charles Pantenko. Diana Chen Peng. Nguyen Pham. Krista Pikes. Julie M. Ramirez. Keith William Poltz. Roland Jones Ratliff III. Joshua Robinson. And my name is Alan Elizabeth Burris.
Sarjil Said Saeed. Nicole Christine Santos. Todd Christian Schindel. Joseph Daniel Shumet. Mohammad Siddiqui. Michael Simpson. Daryl Lonzo Sims Jr. Bennett Skillman. Brian Patrick Smith. Hatch Cummings Smith Jr. Joseph Vincent Sotili. Andrea Starger. Jonathan Scott Taylor. Catherine Ann Tramato. Marcus Valren. Jeffrey Scott Voorhees. Thomas Joseph Walden. Aaron Dirk Walker. Elizabeth Ward. Richard Thomas Wright. Lu Shen. Marcelo Sada. And I am Anshul Singh.
One more round of applause for the 2014 graduates of the Professional MBA program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to present the graduates of the full-time MBA program, class of 2014.
And please join me in recognizing the 4 full-time MBA students who graduated with the highest cumulative grade point averages. First, at the top of the class, is Matthew Paul Mulholland, graduating with a 3.965, and Matt will be joining RBC Capital Markets Group as an investment banking associate. Next is Hannah Marie Laster Mendoza, graduating with a 3.934. And Hannah is joining American Airlines as a marketing and strategy analyst. Then Toby Huskinson, graduating with a 3.91. He's working at Optimal Blue as a product manager for loan hedging and mortgage secondary services. He's also continuing to complete his PhD in operations research. And finally, John McGlicko, graduating with a 3.889. He'll be working at PepsiCo as an associate finance manager.
Good afternoon. Zarina Abdrakhmanova. Mohammed Khalid Aldabib. Todd Kenneth Alsop. Alicia Catherine Andrews. Eric Craig Bailey. Bradford William Bandel. Aaron Barnard. Michael Hanley Berry. Elizabeth Ann Bauman. Matthew Meffert Becker. William James Bernitsky. Charit Butt. Alexandra Hart Bloodworth. John Bree. Ben A. Briggs. Reginald Brown. Michael Vincent Buono. Nicholas Michael Burns. Andrew Maurice Butler. Christopher Palmer Cagle. Sophie Bass Cromit. Christopher Cunningham. Charles Brian Davis. Brian Jordan Day. And I'm Matthew Paul Mulholland.
Akshay Desai. Thomas Neil Edwards. David Carter Fournier, Jr. Charles Walter German. Shomik Ghosh. Vishal Goel. Brian Goodgen. John Randolph Gregson III. Brandon Grice. Christopher Blake Helm. Santiago Hernandez Garcia. Elise Christine Hilgemeyer. Kristen Howie. Yuzhou Wang. Christopher Hunt. Megan Ann Elia. Christian Iniguez. Yuso Isosaki. Michael Damone Jackson. Youngsok Chu. Timothy Martin Jost. Ronnie Lee Kinnison. Altamash Kyer. Arsalan Khan. Jennifer Joanne King. And my name is Hannah Marie Laster Mendoza.
Sawshank Komareddy. Robert Josh Lawfrey. Stephen Manford Lawson. Akshay Isaac Lazarus. June Hee Lee. Joan Young Lim. Elisa Livingstone Lewis. Hannah Christine Litterer. Adriana Marielo. Matthew Robert Mayer. Molly Elizabeth McClung. Andrew Douglas McIntosh. Megan Clark McClendon. Jessica Morrison. Stuart Lauren Morton. Sun Jung No. Cynthia Chioma Ubani. Whitney Elaine Nystrom. Brian Thomas Park. Kellen Vance Peary. Travis Alexander Polk. Aaron Persana. Nikhil Hemant Punde. Joseph Radke. Jeffrey Michael Ray. And I am Toby Huskinson.
Paul Rice. Joel Roberto Rodriguez. Jillian Lee Sanders. Joseph Cade Satterfield. Elizabeth Marie Schaub. Sydney Elizabeth Sid. Kshitij Sharma. Mary Summers Smith. Tushar Solanki. Martha B. Staley. Sid Tuari. George Ernest Thomasy IV. Jeremy Reagan Thompson. Kriti Tawari. Evan Paul Troop. Anand Vardharajan. Amandeep Singh Walia. Michael William Edward Wells. Matthew Wenzel. Neth Summer Wiedemann. Kyle Richard Wood. Blake Edwin Woodall II. And I'm John Wallace McGlicko.
One more round of applause for the 2014 graduates of the full-time MBA program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to present the graduates of the Master of Science in Accounting program, class of 2014.
And it's my honor to announce the 3 students graduating with the highest grade point averages. The top 2 are tied at a perfect 4.0. Jane Rizzuto. Jane, will you stand? And Jane will be serving for 1 year as a technical assistant at the Financial Accounting Standards Board, FASB as we know it, and then she will be joining PricewaterhouseCoopers. Tied with her with a perfect 4.0 is Trev Thomas Wilgus, who will be working for KPMG in the Dallas office. And very close to them is Paige Janke, who is graduating with a 3.937 and will be working for Ernst & Young in the assurance practice. Congratulations.
John David Engel. Judson Barrett Beecher. Allison Paige Bearswell. Jordan Pollard Bowles. Ella Monstead Bright. Kevin Michael Burton. Thomas Gordon Chapline. Evan James Conley. Rachel Elizabeth Conover. Joseph Ars Cotton. Brian Austin Crabb. Chad Daniel Cummings. Nicole Lernia. Minya Dai. Winley Dai. Brent Lewis Davis. John Kelly Dayton. Brian George Dykes Jr. Scott William Englert. Allison Fagan. Nicole Lorraine Francis. Sarah Elizabeth Frazee. Matthew Paul Gandy. Julia Paige Geiger. Sarah Michelle Gilligan. Kelly Catherine Glasgow. And I'm Jane Marie Rizzuto.
Hadley Lily Graham. Nice. Christine Daniel Harpool. Thank you. Thanks. Caroline Heyman. Jasmine Radaporn Heckler. Ready. Jeanette Hernandez. Austin Scott Hyatt. Thank you. Chen Lu Huang. Alyssa Salim Ismail. Laura M. Johnston. Jacob Stanley K. Raymond Eugene Canley. Kayla Gail Kruzberger. Dylan James Kruger. Wenting Lau. Thanks. Allison Elizabeth LaRoche. Han Guoc Lei. Shelby Francis Lebo. Johnny In Lee. Yuan Yuan Lee. Bo Liu. Yiswan Liu. Genevieve Lubuama. Kevin Shenlu Ma. My name is Trev Thomas Wilgus.
Sarah McCurdy. Megan Hightower McClellan. Alexander Wade Measy. Catherine Clark Mickham. Robert Mitchell Miller. Blake Arthur Palmer. Antonio Pakalakis. Mallory Helene Pizzuti. Jonathan David Price. Elizabeth Gray Pertel. Halston Alexandra Reese. Erin Michelle Robbins. Taylor Lane Robinson. Allie Jordan Shea. Olivia Claire Tomlinson. Tara Lee Tong. Rachel Ann Van Gotten. Sarah Monroe Wainwright. Yunfun Wang. Judawa Wang. Houston Gerard Waring. Shu Yang. Jonjun Yu. And I am Paige Michelle Janke.
One more round of applause for the 2014 graduates of the Master of Science in Accounting program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to present the graduates of the Master of Science in Finance program, class of 2014.
And please join me in recognizing the two students graduating with the highest grade point averages. Charles Klender, graduating with a 3.943. He'll be returning home to New York to study for the CFA exam. And Wu Yi Zhao, graduating with a 3.82. Returning home to Hong Kong to pursue a PhD in finance and opening a new restaurant.
Dana Batke. Ryan Austin Brown. Songyan Chen. Michael Albert Elizondo. Denny Lane Feemster. Hao Yun Gao. Ran Gao. Maria Fernanda Gonzalez Vingachea. Edward Joseph Gray. Stephen James Johnson. And I am Charles Michael Arthur Klunder.
Brent Andrew Korb. Liu Xiaotong. Ma Ye. Troy Jack Smith. Kyle Anthony Stewart. Matthew Paul Taylor. James Walter Takip. Zhang Zijing. And my name is Zhao Wuyi.
One more round of applause for the 2014 graduates of the Master of Science in Finance program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to present the graduates of the Master of Science in Management, class of 2014.
And last, but certainly not least, I'm honored to recognize the student graduating from the Master of Science in Management program with the highest cumulative grade point average, John Wilgus, who's graduating with a 3.846, and he's currently seeking employment and buying and planning opportunities in the retail industry. Congratulations.
Emily Claire Karstens. Megan Danielle Cousins. Allison Kathleen Ennis. Shuai Yuan. And I'm John Robert Wilgus.
One more round of applause for the 2014 graduates of the Master of Science in Management program. We invite everyone to join the graduates at the reception in the Collins Center. Please remain seated while the members of the stage party and then the graduates file out.